Hello, everybody. How are y'all doing today? Brainstorm TV1 Productions, Onu Conger and Cheryl. So we are the brainstorm behind, well, I guess I would say the brainchild, not the brainstorm, the brainchild. Oh, it's all good though. The brainchild behind uh, Brainstorm TV Productions. Yes, Olu Conga and Cheryl. So glad to see you. Glad you could be here. Glad you could join us. So today I just want to talk about a few other brands, popular brands. Popular brands that we all use. You know, businesses. Your brand is your business. Your business is your brand, and it's all good. Yes. So, your brand is your business, and your business is your brand. So, I want to talk about a few more popular brands, popular businesses today. So, like I said, um, this channel, Brainstorm TV1 Productions, will be geared toward talking about personal brands, international brands, global brands, all kind of brands. Your brand is your company, and your company is your brand. Yes. So just want to talk about a few more today. So each video I will be talking about three or four, maybe five, but I might talk about brands or I might talk about something else. As long as it's related to business. So, all my videos will be business related. Uh, so business related, and doesn't mean that I'll be talking about just brands, businesses. I mean, well, it'll be related to brands because I could be talking about how a particular brand got started. The ups and downs. I may be talking about how they created their marketing strategy, business strategy, how they hired a great team of employees to help their business grow, help their brand grow. So I did talk about marketing, branding. I talked about trademarking. I talked about patents, copyrights. Yeah, patents, copyrights, trademarks. So I'll probably get more into that. And so it's like you do an injustice when you have one video on a particular topic because there's so many different things that you can talk about, that you can bring up when it relates to one particular topic. So in other words, if I talk about one brand, if I talk about a particular brand, like today I want to talk about Chipotles. Chipotles, so they are a Mexican fast food restaurant. So if I just do one video and talk about Chipotles, then I'm doing my research and injustice because there's so many other things that you can talk about when it comes to one particular brand or one particular topic. There's always more that you can add, or more that you can add or expand on. I guess they say expound on. But so that's how it is. So yes, Olu Conger and Cheryl. Yes, Brainstorm TV1 Productions. So let's get started. So I just want to say, hope you all are having a nice Tuesday so far. Hope you're having a nice Tuesday. Hope you had a nice holiday yesterday, Monday. So the week is moving right on along. So it's all good though. Yes, how y'all doing? So I just like to try to pep myself. I like to pep myself up, y'all, and just try to keep myself. Sometimes you want to keep yourself motivated. Motivated, that's a good term too to do some research on motivation. So we all need a little motivation sometimes, because sometimes we just like to, sit back, relax, and sometimes we like to sit back and relax, and once we finish a topic or idea, or we did some research, or sometimes, and then even if you go to class or you go to school, you go to class. Sometimes we get a little laid back. Sometimes we need a little motivation. Yes, yes, it's so good. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, so a lot of times we need a little motivation, but sometimes, sometimes it's not hard to get motivated. Sometimes we are, already motivated. Sometimes we are not. But, it's all good though. It's all good. Yes, sometimes we are not motivated, but sometimes we are. So let's get into it, y'all. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. So I did write me a couple songs. So I wrote a song. I wrote a couple of songs, but I love you. So one of my songs is not the name of it. I think it's I Love You. I know it's I Love You, and then the other song. I have to, I don't even remember the topics of the song, but I know it was related to love. I love you and you love me. So that was part of the song. Let me get started, y'all, but it's so good. Yes. It's, I mean, I always say that it's all good because you want to keep believing that it's all good. I don't want to say, oh, it's all bad. I don't want to say it's all bad. That's why I say it's all good. So I mean, when I say it's all good because you want to make it all good. You want to believe that it's all good. You don't want to have negative thoughts. So you might notice that on all my videos, I'm saying it's all good. It's all good. I want to believe it's all good. I want to believe that my surroundings are all good. I want to believe that my family, I don't want to believe they are all good. I want to believe myself. I want to believe that I am all good. My family, my friends, everyone in my life. I want to believe that it's so good. Yes. Yep. So, I mean, you want to think positive about your life and your future. And you also want to think about, things in your life that just happening now. So you want to think positive about the present and the future. So that's why I always say, all my videos, I'm saying it's all good. So that's what I want it to be. I want it to be. I believe it to be. I'm gonna make it, and I know it's going to be, and I strive to make it all good. Yes. So let me get started. Oh, y'all. Hope y'all having a nice Tuesday so far. So my main man, Onukanga and Cheryl, right by each other's side. Yes. So let's get started. Brainstorm TV1 Productions. So let's talk about Chipotles, a Mexican restaurant. So how did Chipotles? I don't know how to even pronounce it. I call it Chipotle. It looks like it's spelled. I mean, it looks like it sounds like Chipotle. And it's all good though. Yes, yes, yes. Chipotle's Mexican Grill was founded by Steve Ailes in 1993. Really? In 1993? And it's based in Denver, Colorado. The name Chipotle's derives from the Nahot Mexican name for a smoked dried jalapeno chili pepper. Yeah, because I recently purchased a Chipotle bowl. You get the rice. I get the rice bowl. I always get the rice bowl, the brown rice, but you can get white rice too. So I did get the brown rice, and then I had the jalapeno peppers in there and corn and uh, what else did I get? Did I get some? I didn't get no meat, but I got well, I did get I got the corn, the jalapeno peppers. I got the brown rice. And it's some kind of cheese. I think it was I don't know if it was Parmesan. It probably was Parmesan cheese. So Parmesan cheese, and it was so good. So I always get the rice bowl, Chipotle's rice bowl, and it says, let's talk about the humble beginnings of this Mexican restaurant called Chipotle's. Founder Steve Ells attended the Culinary Institute of America in Hyde Park, New York. Afterward, so in other words, afterwards, he became a line cook for Jeremiah Tower at Stars in San Francisco, California. In 1993, Els took what he learned in San Francisco and opened the first Chipotle restaurant in Denver, Colorado, near the University of Denver campus with an $85,000 loan from his father. Imagine that, he got an $85,000 loan from his father. Now, a lot of fathers can't do that, so that was a blessing. He got an $85,000 loan from his father and took what he learned from the San Francisco, San Francisco school that he went to. It says the Jeremiah Tower at Stars. It was called the Jeremiah Tower at Stars in San Francisco. Yes, wait, he became a line cook for the Jeremiah Tower of Stars in San Francisco, but he did go to the Culinary Institute of America in Hyde Park, New York. So, in other words, he went to culinary school. He got an $85,000 loan from his father. Took that. Els and his father calculated that the store would need to sell 107 burritos per day in order to be profitable. However, after 1 month, the original restaurant was selling over 1,000 burritos a day. So their goal was to sell 107 because they felt that they sold 107 burritos per day, they would be profitable. But in actuality, they sold 1,000 burritos a day. Els had originally planned to use funds from the first Chipotle to open a fine dining restaurant, but instead focused on Chipotle's Mexican grill when the restaurant showed the potential for further success. By 2017, Chipotle was operating more than 2,400 restaurants. Imagine that, 2,400. Imagine you have to manage 2,400 restaurants. So 9 times out of 10, he definitely had to have a marketing team, business, some kind of team, I guess I would say, what you call a technology team, social media team, all kinds of teams, so he definitely, because there's no way in the world one person can manage 2,400 restaurants. No way in the world. So he definitely had to have some kind of team. I don't know how many teams he needed, or I don't know how many he did have. He did have, And it said Chipotle does not franchise its businesses, considering retaining ownership of all its locations central to its ability to set the tone for employee culture, as well as to maintain its commitment to sustainable ingredients. So, and then look, something we didn't know, McDonald's invested in Chipotle's, In 1998, McDonald's made an initial minority investment in the company. So that McDonald's invested in the Chipotle's restaurant in 1998. By 2001, that was the year I graduated college, the company had grown to become Chipotle's largest investor. McDonald's was Chipotle's largest investment. Imagine that. Shit's so good. Yeah, that's some wonderful news to hear, because I never even knew that. And McDonald's investment allowed the firm to quickly expand from 16 restaurants in 1998 to over 500 stores by 2005. So McDonald's investment helped them expand their business, helped the business grow. So with McDonald's investment, they went from 16 restaurants in 1998 to 500 restaurants. Where they say stores on here by 2005. In October 2006, McDonald's fully divested from Chipotles. This was part of a large initiative for McDonald's to divest all of its non-core business restaurants, including Chipotle's, Donato's Pizza, and Boston Market. I guess they talk about Pizza Hut. It just say pizza, but I guess I assume they're talking about Pizza Hut in Boston Market so that it could squarely focus on the main McDonald's chain. Following McDonald's divestment, Chipotle's bought back the few franchises it had sold and became 100% company owned. Chipotle went public in 2007. So in other words, McDonald's divested from Chipotle's. I guess Chipotle bought them out of their share, and then by 2007, Chipotle went public, and then they owned their own company. They had 100% ownership of their company by that time. E. coli outbreaks in the late 2015, and in late 2015, there was a series of E. coli outbreaks at various Chipotle Mexican grill restaurants, including 11 Chipotle restaurants in Washington and Oregon. So I don't know if they're talking about Washington D.C. or Washington State. We have two Washingtons. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reduced the number of cases connected to Chipotle from 50 to 37 cases on November 18, 2015, with 24 in Washington and 13 in Oregon. I remember we did have a E. coli outbreak. In the District of Columbia. I remember that. So a lot of people did get sick. So I do remember that. The CDC has informed Chipotle that it identified 6 additional cases in which initial testing matches the E. coli strain involved in the Washington and Oregon incident. It says in response to this incident, Chipotle said it took steps to make sure its restaurants were safe, although the group experienced a tremendous drop in stock price. So I have to get these little pop-ups off of here sometime. The company said it conducted deep cleaning at the restaurants that were connected to the E. coli outbreak, replacing ingredients in those restaurants, changing food preparation procedures, providing all necessary supply chain data to investigators, and surveying employees to be sure none have had any symptoms of illness. Chipotle also said the company is expanding testing of key ingredients. So they wanted, since the E. coli outbreak, they want to test all their key ingredients. Yeah, because when you're dealing in food, it's just a lot that you have to think about. Customer. You definitely have to think about the customer. Definitely have to think about the customer because you don't want nobody to get sick. So when you're dealing in food, I assume they have all these different, business inspections. Make sure the place is clean. No roaches, no mice, and no kind of bugs or nothing like that. So they have to, have the proper licenses. When you're dealing in, food, selling food, your business is food. So they did, after the E. coli outbreak, they started testing, more, I guess, start performing much better testing, tests, I guess, for, all the ingredients, because you got to make sure certain things are not outdated. You don't want, because the rice has to be, you don't want no old food that's expired because that can make a person sick as well. A lot of times when I go to the grocery store, I always check the expiration date on my meats. Even my canned items, my meats, my canned items, anything you buy, you can, always look at the expiration date because a lot of times, you could get sick at the same time, especially milk and meats. You're purchasing some chicken and hamburger, you definitely want to look at the expiration date. And your milk, but water is cool, so water probably never expires. But pretty much everything else, your potato chips, your canned food, your meats, your milk, even your juices. So I check the expiration date on all my items. Um, my, except for water, I don't worry too much about the water when I purchase that. I usually like to get the water with the alkaline and the electrolytes. But I made me some nice homemade lemonade today because when I do a lot of talking, a lot of time, my throat get a little scratchy. So, but it's so good. Yes. So, yes. Glad to see you all. Glad you could be here. Glad you all could join me. So, another live stream, y'all, video. So, me and my main man, Onukonga, Emmanuel, and Zubechi. So we are about to, create our little cooking channel. So we're going to create our cooking channel. So he's a Nigerian, and I want to learn all about, Nigerian cuisines, Nigerian dishes, because his mom was a pretty good cook. So he does a lot of cooking, so we want to incorporate some American food with some Nigerian food. So we're just trying to pull things together. But in the meantime, he's still a part of Brainstorm TV One Productions. Yeah, so it's so good. Yeah, so let me finish. According to the CDC, about 48 million cases of food-related illness happen in the U.S. annually, including 265,000 cases of E. coli. So that's something serious to worry about because see, I had that. That's wrong. Oh, I was hitting the wrong button on the computer. I mean, the desktop. I was hitting the button on my desktop, but I'm working on my laptop. So that, and so, that may be something I need to look up next. I need to look up E. coli, and maybe I will do that on my next video. E. coli and COVID-19. That would be those will be two great topics because I don't want to see neither one of them, but you don't want to see them, but you want to know how they originated. Things that you can do to prevent them, so those things, knowledge is power. Information is power. In November 2017, founder and CEO Steve Ells announced he would be stepping down from his position. So he's the initial founder of the Chipotle restaurant. The Chipotle is a Mexican restaurant. So in March 2018, Ells was replaced by Taco Bell CEO Brian Nicole. Although Ells will continue to hold his position as chairman, Chipotle's New York Stock Exchange CMG stock price went up over 12% upon the announcement of the change in leadership. So the stock went up upon the change in leadership. I would definitely like to purchase some stock in the Chipotle restaurant, and also Microsoft. I did a video on Microsoft and Bill Gates, the Bill Gates Foundation. I think I did a video yesterday. So just touching base on some very popular brands, and I do feel that it's important to know how they originated, how they started, what did it take for them to grow their empire or their brand. So it's very exciting to me because there's so many brands. There's about 1 trillion brands in the world. So let me see. I think that's it. So that's all. So that's all for Chipotle. Let me see what else they're talking about Chipotle. And then I'm going to move to the next one. So Chipotle, see, right. So after graduating from the Culinary Institute of America in Hyde Park, New York, Ells I just talked about him in the article. He used a small loan from his father. So his father, I think that was that 86,000. Father gave him $86,000 loan. That's something else. How many fathers can give their children, their adult children, $86,000 loan? Because that would take me off the ground right there for real. Yes, it's so good. Yes. Chipotle. So it says LLC used a small loan from his father, which was inspired by Taquarius. He visited San Francisco's Mission District while cooking at the famed Stars restaurant. So in other words, he cooked at the gentleman's restaurant. His name was Taquarius. He would visit this friend of his. I guess that was a friend of his. Visit his restaurant in San Francisco, California, and that inspired him to, open his own restaurant. So sometimes you could be an inspiration to someone and not even know it. So that's why I aim to bring educational, inspirational, and enlightening content to my channel, because hopefully I can inspire some young people, I guess I would say, or anyone. I want to inspire anyone, to get into the business area, because my thing is, there's nothing wrong with working 9 to 5 for someone else's company, but why not try to build your own brand? Why not try to build your own brand? But I know it takes, everybody is not interested in, running their own business or starting their own brand, but, you start out being an entrepreneur, you are the risk taker in the business, so you are responsible for, whether or not the business would fail or succeed. So you're an entrepreneur in the business. So he took a risk. He got a loan, started his Chipotle restaurant. He was inspired by his friend. His friend operated a restaurant in San Francisco, California. I guess that's California. So he was inspired by that. And I guess he saw him cooking up all them dishes, and he was inspired. And he got the $86,000 loan from his father, and he became an entrepreneur. He had an idea. So a lot of times an entrepreneur is a person with an idea. You have an idea for a business idea. You have a business idea, then you have a plan, and then you take that risk. You're the risk taker in the business. Sometimes you fail, sometimes you may succeed. So it says Chipotle's founder Steve Ells returns to sole CEO role. So I just want to see what else they have to say. Ooh, this is a large article. I'm not going to read all this. Okay, I don't think I want to read. Okay, it says Chipotle is based on a very simple idea. We start with great ingredients, prepare them. Excuse me, my throat gets scratchy every time I get to talking for a long time. We start with great ingredients, prepare them using classic cooking techniques, and serve them in a way that allows people to get exactly what they want, said Ells. Ells started Chipotle's. Even though it's a simple idea, operations have become overcomplicated. I'm very much looking forward to relentlessly focusing on ensuring an excellent guest experience, removing unnecessary complexity. I guess I would have made it plural, I guess, but they got complexity. Removing unnecessary complexities, I would have made it plural, from our operations, championing innovation and pursuing our mission of making better food accessible to that he would closely tied to guest experience, to the guest experience. Chipotle now pays its starting employee above the federal minimum wage and provides benefits including paid vacation, paid sick leave, and tuition reimbursement to all employees. I need to go see if I can apply with them. I'm trying to find me a job that I can work from home. Actually, the Chipotles, but I'm actually looking for a working home job. Okay, now Chipotle now pays its starting employees above the federal minimum wage. I think the minimum wage is, I want to say $12 by now, and that's really nothing. But Chipotle's they are paying their employees over the minimum wage. They're paying them above the federal minimum wage and provides benefits including paid vacation, paid sick leave, and tuition reimbursement to all employees. So that's good. So while they're working on a job, if they feel like they want to go to college, and they getting the tuition reimbursement. So that's good. I would have jumped at that. I would have jumped right into a college. But see, I already have my degree. But back in the day, if I was working for Chipotle, sure, I would have did. It says the restaurateur program, which recognizes a company's elite restaurant managers and provides a pipeline for its future leaders, as a cornerstone of Chipotle's field operation. It's so good, y'all. Yeah. So glad to see y'all. Glad you could be here. Oh, it's so good. Yes. However, achieving restaurateur status has become increasingly complex, and Ellis is committed to revisioning the program by placing an emphasis on the guest experience and making the path of restaurateur more intuitive and accessible. I guess I would say accessible to more general managers. It's incredibly important to me that we create an excellent dining experience in all our restaurants. So you have to think about that when it comes to business. When it comes to running a business, the customer is the first person you want to think about. I mean, you have managers, you have customers, you have employees. They all are very important in a business. Helps the business grow. Yes. So you have shareholders. You may have shareholders, but you may not. So it depends on if you are a corporation. You will have people that invest in a business, people that purchase stock in a business. So let's see. It's incredibly important to me that we create an excellent dining experience. L's also recommitted to the company's quest to serve better ingredients, announcing a reimagined company mission. The new company mission to ensure that better food prepared from whole unprocessed ingredients is accessible to everyone is the next step in the evolution of Chipotle's mission-driven business. Right. Yes, that's right. That's right. You want healthy ingredients. Healthier ingredients. That's very important. Because we all need to eat, we all want to eat healthier. We need those vegetables, our greens and our broccoli and our our peas and Brussels sprouts and baked food, no processed food. So, you get your baked chicken, your baked this, your baked this and bake that, and lay off a lot of pork, lay off a lot of red meat and a lot of pork, so drink plenty of water. So, and also we need to keep our weight down. I mean, I'm not a doctor. It's all good though. But, keep your weight down so you can keep your high blood pressure down. Yes. So, okay, he said, when I started Chipotle, I knew very little about the way food was raised. See, imagine that. Somebody started a restaurant, they don't know nothing about how food is raised. And you're going to trust somebody like that. Nah, let me stop. But he said, I knew very little about the way food was raised. And this is Mr. Ellis, who started the Chipotle restaurant. But over the years, so in other words, he learned. Just like Kylie Jenner, she said she learned a lot over the years. So as opposed to when she first started her what's that, Cali Cosmetics and Cali Baby. So that's what she said. She said, yeah, she learned a whole lot. Now she started using healthier ingredients in her makeup, in her different, her product line. He said, I've become a champion for ingredients that are raised with respect for people, animals, and the environment. I will also continue to advocate for food made simply without processed ingredients, which is the kind of food I believe should be available to everyone. I'm incredibly proud of the team at Chipotle. I know you have to have a team, and I'm thankful to them for helping us realize our mission of bringing better food to more and more people. I'd also like to thank Monty for his extraordinary contributions to Chipotle over the years. Monty inspired us with his vision for an enlightened people culture, right? People culture is very important. So that culture that you create within the organization, if it's not positive, could be damaging to your business. If it's positive, is if it's one that's good to help your business grow, because the culture that you create, and say for instance you creating a bad culture, people not getting along, people cussing each other out, and you're not using. I mean, culture could be a lot of stuff. You're not using great ingredients. You're using stuff that's unhealthy for your customers. But if you keep that type of culture going, those bad things, and then it would become a way of life, a way of I guess it would become the culture that you create in your organization. So you want to create a positive culture or cultural environment that's positive for the customers, for the employees, for the managers, for everybody that's involved in the business. Uh, so I'm gonna wrap this one up. It says about Chipotle. I read this before. Steve L. He's the founder, chairman, and CEO. Started Chipotle with an idea. So I said, you start with an idea, then you have a plan, you have a strategy in your plan. It's the same thing. He started with an idea, an investment from his father. And he started with an idea that food served fast did not have to be a typical fast food experience. Today, Chipotle continues to offer a focused menu of burritos, tacos, burrito bowls. That's what I don't get the burrito bowl. I get the rice bowl. So burritos, tacos, burrito bowls, and salads made from fresh, high-quality raw ingredients, prepared using classic cooking methods and served in an interactive style, allowing people to get exactly what they want. Chipotle seeks out extraordinary ingredients that are not only fresh, but that are raised responsibly with respect for the animals land and people who produce them. Chipotle prepares its food using whole, unprocessed ingredients and without the use of added colors, flavors, or other additives typically found in fast food. Chipotle opened with a single restaurant in Denver in 1993 and now operates more than 2,200 restaurants. For more information, visit chipotle.com. And it's so good. Yeah. So 2,200 restaurants now. When they started, they opened one single restaurant in 1993. And now they have 2,200 restaurants. More information, chipotle.com. So let's move on to Tylenol, my next brand. So let's see, how did Tylenol get started and who is responsible for starting Tylenol? So let me write this name down. So I did Chipotle, Chipotle, and Tylenol. Okay, how did Tylenol get started? Tylenol. Tylenol. How did Tylenol get started? They still had Chipotle up there. Okay, the history. The brand was introduced in 1955 by McNeil Laboratories. McNeil Laboratories. 1955. So, before some of us were born, so I say it like that. The brand was introduced in 1955 by McNeil Laboratories, a family-owned pharmaceutical manufacturer. Two brothers took over the company from their father that year, and one of them subsequently learned about paracetamol, which was not on the U.S. market at that time. So let's see what else they say. So in other words, 1955, Tylenol is it's a medicine, and it is mostly used. I use it for like if I have a headache, so it works very well. So I think they have Tylenol 3, and then they have like the regular Tylenol. I usually get the regular Tylenol. So if you have a headache, you have a fever, take you a cup of Tylenols, and and then drink a little bit of water. But it's good to know what's in it. So this will be an interesting, I guess I would say, topic. This brand Tylenol, what's in it? I would love to know what's in it. So it started 1955. The McNeil Laboratories. It was a family-owned pharmaceutical manufacturer. So a family-owned pharmaceutical manufacturer. Then two brothers later took it over. So I guess it said one of them subsequently learned about. So one of them learned about the paracetamol. I guess that's some type of medicine, which was not on the U.S. market at the time. So let's go into the history of Tylenol right here. Okay. So the history of Tylenol, it says on Monday, March 17, 1879, Robert McNeil paid $167 for a drugstore complete with fixtures. For a whole drugstore? They said he paid $167 for a drugstore complete with fixtures, inventory, and soda fountain. And the soda fountain, located in the heart of the Mill District in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. A 23-year-old graduate of the Philadelphia College of Pharmacy and Science, McNeil had wisely chosen a good location for his drugstore where potential customers and growth were assured. So he was 23 years old, and he had graduated from the Philadelphia College of Pharmacy and Science. I figured you had to have some type of educational background. I mean, you want to go into medicine. So McNeil had wisely chosen a good location for his drugstore where potential customers and growth were assured. First day sales for his fledgling business totaled $5.79. This was the birth of future McNeil companies with a tradition of caring for others, service to the community, and the pursuit of excellence. So it says Robert McNeil's Pharmacy. So it was a family-owned. First, it started out as a family-owned business. Robert McNeil's Pharmacy rapidly became known as the largest drug and prescription store uptown, serving loyal neighborhood customers and physicians in the Kensington section of Philadelphia. In those days, the quality of pharmaceuticals was dependent upon a druggist's ability to select materials and his skill in making the finished product using largely homemade equipment. Medications used by the medical profession were largely folklore products such as roots, barks, herbs, and flowers. McNeil quickly earned a reputation as a superior pharmacist. He used his signature blown in the side of his bottles as means of assuring customers a product of quality up to the McNeil standard. So he used his signature blown. So in other words, for the signature, I guess he was using that as his logo at the time, or label, logo for his brand. So it says he used his signature blown in the side of his bottles as a means of assuring customers a product of quality up to the McNeil standard. Yes, you have to have some type of branding, trademark for your business, so customers can know they can trust you. Your trademark, your logo, your product labels. People want to know what's in what's in, Tylenol, what's in it. You definitely have to tell people what's in it. What company made it, what's in it, and all about it. So your trademark for that particular brand, Tylenol brand, it will distinguish your brand from the next company's brand. So that's very important. So who wants to buy a bottle of pills and then it doesn't have no business name on it, no trademark, no label, No distinguishing mark, so you know where it came from. And then the ingredients have to definitely be placed on that bottle, right on the back of the bottle. It says Robert McNeil's pharmacy rapidly became known as the largest drug and prescription store uptown. Right. So it says serving loyal neighborhood customers and physicians in the Kensington section of Philadelphia. So let's go down to expanding the business. In 1900, McNeil relocated his business to a larger four-story building with space for a sick room, supply department, a truss and bandage fitting room, and research and manufacturing laboratory. So, right, I mean, you start, you running a business and you start making money, your business is growing, your revenue, revenue coming in, your business growing, you're making more money. So you're able to expand the business, expand your product line, expand your products and services, do more for the customer. 4 years later, McNeil's only son, known as Lincoln, joined the family business. So his son joined the business as well. A graduate of the Wharton Business School, he assumed responsibility for McNeil's manufacturing lab and physician supply business, which grew rapidly. His father supervised the retail operation. In 1914, father and son officially formed a partnership known as the firm of Robert McNeil. Robert McNeil retired in 1925, way before any of us, some of us were born, a lot of us anyway. Lincoln made a strategic decision to discontinue the successful retail operations and focus on expanding the drug research and production side of the business. Once again, the business was relocated to a larger facility located near the railroads to facilitate service to an increasing number of out-of-state customers. This is a large article, so I'm not going to read all of it. So focus on physicians. After Robert McNeil, after he was gone, the company was incorporated under the name McNeil Laboratories Incorporated. Robert Lincoln McNeil serving as its first president. So I'm going to skip all the way down. And then his other son, another one of his sons got involved in the business. They say got involved in the business, it's like a drugstore they had open, and they did have Tylenol. That's how they got started. Tylenol. That was the pill, the medicine. You have a headache. So getting into the pharmaceutical industry. See, a second son, Henry S. McNeil, joined the company in 1939. Also a Yale graduate with a degree in applied economic science. So in other words, his two sons joined the business, but after he, passed on, during the same period, McNeil introduced Butasol sodium, a daytime sedative, which was the company's leading product from 1948 to 1969. It was the first McNeil product to reach $1 million in sales. So it's a Tylenol launch and J&J acquisition. In 1955, McNeil Laboratories introduced Tylenol Elixir. Tylenol Elixir. It's all good though, Sometimes you gotta take your time to pronounce the word. So, but it's all good. How y'all doing today? Hope y'all doing fine on this Tuesday night. Yes, on this Tuesday night. So I'm not gonna hold this video too long because so I'm not gonna hold this video too long, but so they introduced another brand of Tylenol. So in other words, they had the plain Tylenol, and then they came up with the Tylenol Elixir for children. It was the first in a line of products that was to become the nation's best-selling analgesic. In the same year, Robert Lincoln McNeil retired. His sons, Henry and Bob, carried on as president and chairman of the board, respectively. By 1957, the company needed more space. Once again, McNeil acquired a 110-acre tract. So I'm just telling you how they expanded their business. So I'm not going to read everything. But so, it started off with a gentleman named McNeil. early beginnings, McNeil from drugstore to drug development. McNeil is a consumer health care company, worldwide consumer pharmaceutical. This is a pharmaceutical. This is intranet site content. So internet site content. So companies use instead of the internet. So the intranet is within the company. In other words, you're running a company, and within your company, they call it the. We use the internet. They call it the intranet. So it's within the company. But we use the internet outside of the company, outside of personal use. So intranet is usually like the business use. So let me go on. What's the next one? Let me go to Kodak. How did Kodak get started? So Kodak, excuse me, Kodak film and cameras and so let's see how they got started. So let me see, how did Kodak get started? I made some homemade lemonade. It's so good. So good. When I make it, slice my lemons and squeeze the lemons in the water. And then I leave, I cut my lemons in half, squeeze both, sides in the water, and then put a little sugar. And I leave the lemons in the water, and then, sometimes you just put ice. But I mean, tastes good. Sometimes they say it's good, it's healthier to drink, just plain lemons and water. So, went down the wrong way. Okay, so let's talk about Kodak. Kodak began as a partnership between George Eastman and Henry A. Strong to develop a film roll camera. After the release of the Kodak camera, Eastman Kodak was incorporated on May 23rd, 1892. Imagine that, 1892. Wow. So it started out with a gentleman named Henry Eastman, and two gentlemen, Henry Eastman and Henry A. George Eastman. I don't know why I say Henry. George Eastman and Henry A. Strong. So it started out, and they, in other words, Eastman Kodak, when they called it Eastman Kodak, they called it Eastman Kodak. It was incorporated May 23rd, 1892. Okay, let's see if we get the history on Kodak. Kodak film. As a matter of fact, I still have a Kodak camera to this day. I still have the Kodak. Let me see. Okay. Let's see what they're saying. Let me see what they're saying. Oh, excuse me, but it's all good. Yes, it's all good. So Kodak, Kodak is a brand that definitely has been around for I don't know how many years. Kodak, but now, I remember we used to put, how you buy that little packet of film. It's like comes in like a square. It's a square. Excuse me. It's square, and you pop out. You pull your little camera slot out, and you slip one. Sometimes you put the whole thing in there, and you take one picture at a time, and then you pull it out. Because I remember, yes, and those, then you just shake it like that. In other words, you take a picture. You put that in that little packet inside the camera. You take your pictures, and then when you take your picture, it's going to come out automatically, and you just you take the little plastic film off the top, covering off the top, and there goes your picture right there. Instant pictures. And then they had the time, then there was a time when you take your pictures, and then you have to take your you take your pictures, and then you had to take your little camera to the shop and let them develop your pictures. So I remember those days. It was all good. It's all good though. But now, You just take your pictures with your cell phone. So we have come a long way. But I mean, I assume, I don't know. I don't know how Kodak, I don't know how they are still doing now. But I'm saying, I mean, I assume they probably expanded their product line with some other things, because you have to find a way to be innovative, creative. So in other words, people moved on to cell phones now. That's how we're taking our pictures. Taking pictures on your cell phone, you got your desktop, your laptop. So many ways that we are taking pictures now. So now let's move to Kodak. Let's look up a little bit more on Kodak. So here's the history right here. I don't know if this is the right. Oh no, I already been there. That's not giving me nothing right there. So I'm trying to find out a little bit more about Kodak, the Kodak film, the cameras. Let me see, matter of fact, what products does Kodak make? Okay, let me go into this. Okay, Kodak makes photographic film and paper, still film cameras, slide projectors, instant cameras, image sensors, floppy disks. So I figured they had to expand their product line. They couldn't just sell cameras because they would be obsolete. Digital cameras. Okay, they sell digital cameras, digital picture frames. A global technology company providing industry-leading products and services for commercial print, packaging, publishing, manufacturing, and entertainment. Eastman Kodak Company, a global technology company providing industry-leading products and services for commercial, print, packaging, publishing, manufacturing, and entertainment. Let me see. Let me read. Let me see what else they have. So they're selling a whole lot of other stuff. These some big machines. Wow. So let me see. Kodak. Okay, let me see. All right, Kodak is on the New York Stock Exchange as KODK. Is a leading global manufacturer focused on commercial print and advanced materials and chemicals. So it seems to me like they have gotten into a whole lot. So what does Kodak do these days? It now provides software. Okay, let me see. So what does Kodak do these days? A decade of pivots before a huge, for a huge loss. So wow, trying to find Kodak. Kodak the company. Yeah, so Kodak. So our founder George Eastman devoted his life to making photography as convenient as a pencil. His company has been at the center of most milestones in photography and digital imaging ever since. So dealing in digital imaging, the Eastman Kodak Company is an American public company that produces various products related to its historic basis in analog photography. The company is headquartered in Rochester, New York, and is incorporated in New Jersey. Okay, George Eastman, he's the gentleman that started the Kodak Company. So he was a high school dropout. Imagine that. Well, sometimes you never know. You can drop out of school and still, I mean, if you have the drive, the determination, the fortitude to keep it moving, I mean, sometimes, I mean, that doesn't work for everyone. You know, I wouldn't hardly want to drop out of high school. But he was a high school dropout, judged, not especially gifted. He was judged, but he wasn't especially gifted. When measured against the academic standards of the day, he was poor, but even as a young man, he took it upon himself to support his widowed mother and two sisters, one of whom had polio. He began his business career as a 14-year-old office boy in an insurance company and followed that with work as a clerk in a local bank. Let me get some more of this lemonade. Okay, it says he was George Eastman, and his ability to overcome financial adversity, his gift for organization and management, and his lively and inventive mind made him a successful entrepreneur by his mid-20s. See, when your mind and you have the determination and you know, don't give up, you don't keep on worrying about what a person gonna tell you, or you can't do this, you can't do that. So it says his ability to overcome financial adversity, his gift for organization and management. Said he grew up poor, dropped out of high school. He had to help his mom and his sisters. And his lively and inventive mind. So he probably was always thinking about what he could do. You know, sometimes we are some of us are so inquisitive and our mind just don't give up. Our mind won't rest until we do what we have to do or do what we want to do, you know. So in other words, his lively and inventive mind made him a successful entrepreneur, the risk-taking in business. By the mid-20s, and they enabled him to direct his Eastman Kodak company to the forefront of American industry. But building a multinational corporation and emerging as one of the nation's most important industrialists required dedication. That's what I said, dedication and sacrifice. It did not come easily. Right. Of course, it takes, you know, the youngest of three children, George Eastman, was born to Maria Kilbourne and George Washington Eastman on July 12, 1854, in the village of Waterville, some 20 miles southwest of Utica, in upstate New York. The house on the old Eastman homestead where his father was born and where George spent his early years, has since been moved to the Genesee Country Museum in Mumford, New York, outside of Rochester. It said George continued school until he was 14, then forced by family circumstances, he had to find employment. His first job as a messenger boy with an insurance firm paid $3 a week. Imagine that. What? Really? $3 a week? Oh, yeah, because that was back in the 1800s. So, wow. I think that was what they said. It was 18 something. Let me see. 1854. Oh, he was born in 1854. So just imagine you're born in 1854. But it says his first job, he only made $3 a week. I can believe that. A lot of our parents had to drop out of school, you know, to take care of their parents. Because back in the day, you know, they didn't have a lot of jobs. You know, when our parents were born, just think, you know. But even with that increase, his income was not enough to meet family expenses. He studied accounting at home. Imagine accounting. I didn't know accounting went back that far. Really? So good, Joey. Yes. Nothing wrong with that education because I did take an accounting course at Strayer University where I received my bachelor's in business administration and my master's in information systems. So I did take accounting, business law, you know, business ethics. I took a finance course. So many different courses in my curriculum. So, you know, it says, yeah, he studied accounting at home. Studied accounting at home evenings to get a better paying job. He studied accounting at home in the evening to get a better job. So I still remember my husband helping me with, you know, my accounting, when I was taking my accounting course. In 1874, after 5 years in the insurance business, he was hired as a junior clerk at the Rochester Savings Bank. His salary tripled to more than $15 a week. And that still ain't nothing. $15 a week. When Eastman was 24, he made plans for a vacation to Santo Domingo. Santo Domingo, that's what it had. When a co-worker suggested he make a record of the trip, Eastman bought a photographic outfit with all the paraphernalia of the wet plate days. The camera was as big as a microwave oven and needed a heavy tripod. And he carried a tent so that he could spread photographic emulsion on glass plates before exposing them and develop the exposed plates before they dried out. So I'm not going to read all this article because it is a long one. But in other words, and then he went on, he went on that trip. This was when he was a young boy. They're just telling the story about when he was, before he even probably started the Kodak company. So, Kodak film, Kodak cameras, and whatever, he had in his product line. Okay. It's just a whole lot of stuff that he did. I'm not going to read the whole. Okay, here go the birth of the company. Let's talk about the birth of this company. In 1879, London was the center of the photographic and business world. George Eastman, who started the Kodak company, so I still remember the Kodak camera. Matter of fact, I still have my Kodak camera in the closet in there. I don't even use it, So it says George Eastman went there to obtain a patent on his plate coating machine. An American patent was granted the following year. So he had a patent, he had an invention when they got a patent, so they gave him the exclusive right to use that product, and no one else could use it. So in April 1880, he leased the third floor of a building on State Street in Rochester and began to manufacture dry plates for sale. One of his first purchases was a secondhand engine priced at $125. I really needed only a 1 horsepower. He later recalled this was a 2 horsepower, but I thought perhaps business would grow up to it. It was worth a chance, so I took it. Success of the dry plate venture so impressed businessman Henry A. Strong, that he invested some money in the infant concern. So the gentleman, Henry A. Strong, he was so impressed that he invested some money in the infant concern. So I guess in the infancy of the brand, he sometimes we see the potential of a particular person or a particular company, and then you might want to say, hey, I will invest in this company, or I go into a partnership with you, a sole proprietorship, or not a sole proprietorship, but a partnership and a corporation or LLC, a limited liability company. So it says on January 1881, Eastman and Strong formed a partnership called the Eastman Dry Plate Company. Late that year, Eastman resigned from his position at the Rochester Savings Bank to devote all his time to the new company and his business. It says, while actively managing all phases of the firm's activities, he continued research in an effort to simplify photography. So he's building his way up to getting into more into photography. In 1884, the Eastman Strong Partnership had given way to a new firm, the Eastman Dry Plate and Film Company, with 14 shareholders. A successive concern, the Eastman Company was formed in 1889. And then the company had been called Eastman Kodak Company since 1892, when the Eastman Kodak Company of New York was organized. In 1901, the Eastman Kodak Company of New Jersey of that state. Eastman built his business on 4 basic principles. A focus on the customer, as I always talk about, customer number 1. You have to make the customer satisfied. Have to offer great products and services for the customer. You have to have a great marketing plan for the customer, how the customer is going to know what products and services you offer, because marketing is very important. So what social media marketing channels are you going to use to make your products and services available to the customer? You might have a website, you might have social media marketing, you have internet marketing, business to business marketing, where businesses market with other businesses. So and then it said mass production at a low cost. So this is Eastman. So this is the one. This is the gentleman that started the Kodak company. So this is the gentleman that started the Kodak company with his friend Mr. Strong, and it focused on the customer, mass production at low cost, worldwide distribution, right? Worldwide distribution. So you want to go international, you want to go global, you want to worldwide. You want to reach a larger target market. So that's very important. Extensive advertising, right? You have to advertise because you know why that's important? It keeps your products and services in the minds of your customer. So, like when I shop at the well-known retail brands over here, Walmart, Target, Kmart, Kohl's. When I shop at those brands, uh, they are already in my mind. Or for, I mean, from so many years, they're still in my mind because not only just because of advertising, but because I've been to the locations, I've been to the storefront, and advertising is part of it. Why? Because when you go onto their website, they're advertising all the products they have in their business, in their brand. So advertising is very important. So he says extensive advertising. So this is Mr. Eastman. He started the Kodak company. He says they said Eastman built his business on four basic principles. You focus on the customer, mass production at low cost. So in other words, mass production at low cost. So he's wanting to produce a large amount of whatever he's selling, whatever products he have, produce a whole lot, but at a lower cost. So in other words, I want to mass produce 10 million bicycles, but I want to do it at a low cost. So if I can do it at a lower cost, that means I'm effective and I'm efficient. Efficient means at a lower cost. Effective means you got it done. So if I can mass produce my products or even if I have some services, I mean, nine times out of 10, you're talking about products. But if I can mass produce my products at a lower cost, then that is very beneficial to the customer as well, because the lower cost for my products are going to trickle down to the customer. So he saw all four as being closely related. Mass production could not be justified without wide distribution. Distribution, in turn, needed the support of strong advertising, right? Strong advertising. So in other words, you have to keep on advertising and keeping your products in the minds of the customer. Because just imagine if you keep seeing certain advertisements from certain companies, it's going to be in your mind. That's all you're going to think about. Think about the billboards when you're riding down the highway and you see these billboards, of different companies with what they offer. Then you also see sometimes, I know we went to Virginia Beach. We went 3 years ago, and we just went a couple weeks. I think it was I would say last month. We went to Virginia Beach last month, and we ride down the highway, and you can see advertisement that say, "Look, McDonald's, Wendy's, gas station, half a mile, ahead." So that is an advertisement that let you know that you're about to roll up on those businesses, those brands. So that's like an advertisement as well. So extensive advertising, even that, and then even you look at their website and like I said, billboards, whatever way they advertise their products, it will definitely stick in your mind, because they definitely Facebook, because you go to Facebook, you see a lot of advertising, and even on I guess Instagram, so social media marketing. A lot of companies advertise on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. So name a few, pick a few. So I'm not going to read too much more about this Kodak company, but he had a customer focus. As Eastman's young company grew, it faced total collapse at least once when dry place in the hands of dealers went bad. Eastman recalled them and replaced them with a good product. Right. So if you have a failure in your products, you know, you're going to replace your products with better products for the customer. Uh, I think that's all I'm going to read on here because it's still a lot. It's a lot in this article. It says this system of photography using roll holders was immediately successful. However, paper was not entirely satisfactory as a carrier for the emulsion because the grain of paper was likely to be reproduced in the photo. So it says, this is 1883. He started the trade with the announcement of film in rolls, with the roll holder adaptable to nearly every plate camera on the market. The first film advertisements in 1885 stated that shortly there will be introduced a newest sensitive film, which it is believed will prove an economical and convenient substitute for glass dry plates, both for outdoor and studio work. So I'm not gonna read a whole lot more. So it's a long article. So it says this is well, it's not the last paragraph, but it says with the Kodak camera in 1888, Eastman put down the foundation for making photography available to everyone. Preloaded with enough film for 100 exposures, the camera could be easily carried and handheld during operation. It was priced at $25. After exposure, the whole camera was returned to Rochester. There, the film was developed, prints were made, and new film was inserted, all for $10. So this was back in the day, 1888. But over the years, when some of us purchased a Kodak camera, I didn't see. I guess I did. Cause matter of fact, I do have a couple of those the little small cameras. And those are the ones that I was talking about that you have, you take your pictures and you have to put them in the shop to get them developed. So I think they might have had, I don't know if mine had 100 exposures, but they said, well, this was 1888 though, but I know I do have I had a couple little cameras where you take your pictures and then you put them in the shop and they develop them. But then he also made a camera that instant pictures. So you take a picture, nice size camera, you take a picture and you get your pictures instantly. So those are the only two that I remember that I still actually have. But let me go on. Uh, Let me go to the last one, and that is Universal Studios, because it's 9 o'clock p.m. over here in the United States. Yes, it's all good. So let me quickly go into Universal Studios and see how he started. Because it took me a long time to read that one. Universal Studios. How did STV? So I'm just gonna, see what's going on Universal Studios. So Universal Studios in 1914, German-American immigrant Carl Laimel bought the Taylor Ranch in the San Fernando Valley and founded Universal City as a gigantic studio with a zoo, its own police, and mayor and Native Americans living on the premises. So Universal Studios started by a German American immigrant. His name was Carl Laemmle. I guess it's Laymill. Carl Laymill. He bought the Taylor Ranch in the San Fernando Valley and founded Universal City as a gigantic studio with a zoo. So he called it Universal City at first. 1914. Okay, let me see what else they're saying about it. It says Universal Studios. It was founded in Chicago. But now they say it was founded in Chicago in 1912 with the same guy, Carl Lamille. And in 1914, he bought a 230-acre ranch at the east end of the San Fernando Valley for $165,000, which was to be the world's first film creative studio, especially for the production of feature-length films. It says, So did it come? I'm trying to see. Did it become a? Did it become a park or something? Let me see. I'm not sure. Universal Studios is the world's largest film and television production company, although in late 1997 it spun off much of its television operations. So it's the world's largest film and television production company, Universal Studios. The Universal umbrella covers a multitude of entertainment ventures, including the production and distribution of motion pictures and music. Other Universal operations include book publishing, concert promotion, 2 Universal Studios theme parks, yes, management of 6 amphitheaters, and the licensing and marketing of products inspired by its film. So there's nothing wrong with expanding, your products and services. So join more customers and make more money when you have a larger product line. Additionally, Universal operates the Spencer Gift retail chain with more than 500 stores across the country and has a 25% stake in Loews Cineplex Entertainment, which operates about 450 movie theaters. Wow, that's some real money right there. The alliance between Universal Studios and its parent Seagram has been somewhat uneasy at times, with Seagram's bottom line mindset being more than a little alien to the world of filmmaking. Seagram's CEO Edgar Bronfman at one point suggested that movie ticket prices should be tied to production costs, a notion that most in Hollywood found laughable. They said company finances. As a privately held company, Universal does not report the full details of its financial operations. However, the company's revenue for fiscal 1997, ending June 1997, was $6.5 billion, compared with estimated revenue $5.9 in 1996. It says revenue in fiscal 95 was estimated at $5.8 billion, compared with $5.7 billion the previous year. Film entertainment brought in about $3.9 billion, or about 60% of total revenue in 97. The company's music business contributed. That's something. So you have a business and you have all these other businesses. So that, of course, you're going to grow as a company. So filmed entertainment. So in other words, they had amusement park, they had the music, they had entertainment, they had different companies, So the history of Universal Studios, it was founded in Chicago in 1912 by Carl Emil. In 1914, he bought a 230-acre ranch at the east side of the San Fernando Valley for $165,000. So in other words, he purchased the ranch, 230-acre ranch for $165,000. That was pretty good. That wasn't very expensive. Which was to be the world's first film studio created expressly for the production of feature-length films. So in other words, he purchased this ranch, 230-acre ranch, $165,000. So it was a great investment for him, for his film studio. That was his film studio. Lakersham Township presented him with a solid gold key to open the gate of Universal City in 1915. So that's going way back. For this grand opening, he invited thousands of guests to Universal City. It marked the emergence of Hollywood as America's premier city of filmmaking. It was also the beginning of an industry that would have an incredible and overwhelming impact on the world. Right, I've never been there, so some of us would never even get to see some of these places, but I just wanted to do a little research. The first of Universal's films were silent and were made popular largely through the talent of one of Hollywood's all-time great actors, Lon Chaney. The dollars Chaney brought in at the box office were instrumental in putting Universal on its feet. He was the most popular figure on the silent era and is most acclaimed for Hunchback of Notre Dame. So I heard of that movie. A reproduction of the great Notre Dame Cathedral was built on a universal lot along with sets depicting Wild West towns and street scenes that had an illusion of being anywhere in the world. It's so good. Yes. Just think about the money this company made. Oh, wow. Universal Studios, California. California. No doubt about it. How? California. All right, y'all. It's all good. Hope y'all have a nice Tuesday. So, ready for Wednesday, y'all. All right, I'm not going to read too much more of this. Let me see what else they have. It's a long article, you know. So, fast facts about Universal Studios. Universal Studios Incorporated is privately owned by Seagram Company, which controls 84% of the company, and Japanese electronics giant Matsushita, which owns the remaining 16%. So Universal Studios is privately owned by the Seagram Company. So I guess they purchased it from they must have purchased it from this other gentleman. Let me see. Yeah, well, it did say it over here. It did say it's about 94 Seagram's diversification into entertainment had already begun with the purchase, with a 15% stake in Time Warner. So I mean, he purchased different items, different companies rather. So it looked like to me, it's a Universal Studio. It is the world's largest film and television production company. Licensing, lounge between the studios. Okay, it did say Seagram. Okay, Seagram has been somewhat uneasy at times, with Seagram's bottom line mindset being more than a little alien to the world of filmmaking. Seagram's CEO Edgar Bronfman at one point suggested that movie ticket prices should be tied to production costs, a notion that most in Hollywood found laughable. So in other words, he thought ticket prices should be tied to production costs. So in other words, as a privately held company, Universal does not report the full details of its financial operations. So in other words, they said it was started by a gentleman named Carl LeMille, and in 1914 he bought a 230-acre ranch. So he must have sold it. He must have sold the company. Because say Universal Studios was founded in Chicago in 1912 by Carl LeMille. In 1914, he bought a 230-acre ranch on the San Fernando Valley for $165,000, which he created his first film studio. It says Lancashire Township presented LeMille with a solid gold key to open the gate of Universal City. But then when you come down at the end, near the end, it says facts about Universal Studio. Then you come down at the bottom, it said it was privately owned, but they said it started out with this gentleman. It started out with the gentleman who owned it. Well, I guess he sold it, you know. So Mr. Carl LeMille, let me write that down. It's CARLLAEMMLE. So that was 1914. So in 1914, Carl LeMille, Universal Studios was founded in Chicago in 1912. It was founded in 1912, but 2 more years later, 1914, Mr. Carl, he bought a 230-acre ranch at the east end of the San Fernando Shenandoah Valley for 165,000, which he turned that into the world's first film studio. Excuse me, the world's first studio. So founded in Chicago, 1912. So it seems like it was later privately owned by a gentleman named it's the Seagram Company. So later it was privately owned. They had a strategy. The goal of Universal Studios in the late 90s was much of the same as when the company was launched in 1912. Right, they launched in 1912. And then Mr. Carl, he purchased, was it 230 acres of land? He purchased 230 acres of land. So in other words, he built his first film company. But it just seemed like it, I guess businesses do change hands, but sometimes, you can have a merge with another business, or you can sell your interest in that particular company. But I'm not going to read too much of this, but if you want to know some more about the Universal Studios in San Francisco, California, you can, do a little more research. So we talked about Chipotles, Tylenol, Kodak, Universal Studios. So next time, but it's so good. Yeah. So, next time I will be looking at four or five other businesses, or, between, more likely it's going to be more than one. So it's so good. Yes. So I would say between 1 and 5, anywhere in between. So, so I have a whole listing of about 300 or 400 brands, but there's so many brands in the world. So my content is going to be never ending, because there's so much to talk about, when it comes to these different brands. So I don't know what brands I want to talk about next, but I have so many, Procter & Gamble, Starbucks, Disney. I already talked about Disney. Dove, Telsa, Airbnb, Adidas. So we have Adidas, we have Nike, K-Swiss, we have Uber Technologies, we have Lyft, PepsiCo, McDonald's, M&M's, Band-Aid brand, Reese's, Kleenex, Duracell, Oreo cookies, Heinz, Lay's chips, McCormick, Quaker, Chipotles, we have Hershey's, Energizer, we have Lysol, Pillsbury, Hefty, Snickers, Windex, Elmer's, Clorox, Kit Kat, that's a chocolate candy brand, Doritos, your snacks. You have your baked Lays, your Doritos, your corn chips, Hershey's Kisses, Hanes underwear, Sony, electronics. We have Ritz, we have Jif, we have Fisher Price, Mr. Clean, Samsung, Oreo, Kellogg's, Lay's potato chips, baked Lays, Planters, Tupperware, Campbell. Yes, it's all good. All these brands. Yes, I have so much, I want to bring some enlightening, educational, inspirational content to my channel. So, I think it is all our responsibility. It's all of our responsibility. Not our responsibility, but I guess I would say it would be enlightening, inspirational, educational for us, as the, older adults, to bring, some enlightening content, educational, inspirational, for our younger generation, and also for everybody. We all need to learn. We all want to learn something new. We want to learn something inspirational, educational, enlightening, something entertaining. We want to be entertained. So we want to learn. And then, the younger generation. So for me, what I want to do, I want to inspire somebody younger than me. I want to bring good content to my channel, something they can learn from. I want to create a learning organization. So that's what I'm doing. Brainstorm TV One Productions. So that's my organization. So good though, yeah. So Brainstorm TV Productions, and also have a couple other channels that I'm working on. I am building. So me and Mr. Onukanga, yes, Onukanga and Cheryl. So we're going to be presenting our cooking channel shortly. But right now we're both building Brainstorm TV Productions, Brainstorm TV One Productions. So, but I mean, it's a whole lot of different brands. So I have Neosporin, Chips Ahoy, UPS, USPS, Land O'Lakes, Netflix, Fruit of the Loom, Tylenol, Kodak, Reese's Pieces, Animal Planet, French's Mustard, Orville, Red and Barker Popcorn, OxyClean, Whirlpool, let go my Eggo waffles. Discovery Channel, Jimmy Dean, Goldfish Chairman, Haagen-Dazs ice cream. Yes, it's so good. Yes. Oh, wow. Febreze, Tootsie Pop, Febreze, the air freshener brand, smells so good. So many brands. And I talked about KKW Beauty brand, Fenty Beauty brand, Fenty Beauty, Rihanna, KKW Beauty, Kim Kardashian. I talked about, beautiful brands, wonderful brands, very enlightening, very inspirational. I like to see our young ladies, I like to see them doing their thing in the business world. So my degree is business administration. So it really, excites me. It brings, I'm so inspired, and that's why I devote my channel to business, brands, because my degree is business administration, Strayer University, right here in the United States of America. Yes. So I'm just, yeah, so it's all good, But I'm gonna close down now because I could be on here half the night. And homemade lemonade is so good. But so I'm gonna close out now. So there's so many. See, I named so many, and that's just the tip of the iceberg, I guess they would say. But it's so many. And then I have so many other brands I want to talk about. I want to talk about so many other brands, but I try to bring the brand. I try to bring first. I try to talk about first. I try to talk about brands that first. I guess I would say brands that I want to learn about first. That's what I want to say. There's so many brands, in the world, maybe trillions of brands, maybe millions. But I want to talk about brands that interest me first before I get to those other brands. I want to talk about brands that interest me. I want to talk about brands. I want to learn more about certain brands. So those are the brands I want to bring forward first. But it's all good. So, but subscribe to my channel, please. If you like my content, like this video, go to my channel, Brainstorm TV One Productions, and check out some of my other videos. Check out my podcast. So I'm going to be adding more videos to my podcast, and so it's nothing but up from here, I guess. So that's how you gotta think. You gotta think positive. It's up from here. So I just want to bring educational content, inspirational content that will enlighten all of us. We all need to learn. We all need to be enlightened. We all need to be inspired. Whether we're young, whether we're old, but it's all good. It's all good. Yes. So come on back. Come on back. Come on back. Like this video. Like some other videos on my channel, Brainstorm TV One Productions. Yes. So I will also have another channel, Brainstorm Entertainment and Brainstorm Productions. So I actually have, I think it's four channels. But I'm just, taking my time to build. I don't know why I need that many channels, but don't ask me why. But it's all good. But why not? They're free. It's just like having your own. Just imagine you can start your own channel for free. Why not? That's what I say. Why not? It's all good. Yes. So what opportunity, where else do we have this opportunity where we can start our own channel? I'm here on StreamYard Live. StreamYard is not free, but YouTube is. But, it's so good. But, hey, I call it a good investment. So I really love StreamYard so far, but I'm just learning it. So, but so look, I'm at an hour and 39 minutes over that, So I'm going to stop this bullshit because I can tell I need to get in bed, get ready for tomorrow. Tomorrow is a school day for the kids, but it's all good, y'all. But thanks for joining me. Like this video, subscribe to my channel. Any comments, any ideas, or any topics that you may know about, or that you may know about that you might want me to touch base on. I don't mind doing research, so I will need to do research to find out more about it, so I can speak on it, But unless I really know, something about that topic, but it's all good. Oh! So, but let me close on out, y'all. So come back to see me again. So I hope you all have a wonderful week. So tomorrow is Wednesday. So what's tomorrow? The 6th of September 2023. So I see y'all when I see y'all, and I hope you all have a blessed night. So Brainstorm TV1 Productions, Onu Conga, and Cheryl want to say thanks for joining us. And Brainstorm TV1, we out.